Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlossberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlossberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlossberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast. In our 20th year, very proud of that. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, doing great things for people in San Diego for 60 plus years. When I saw this on the calendar, I couldn't wait for this date. And two of my all-time favorite friends, I'm a fan of theirs. They are wonderful community leaders in so many different areas. Shandon Harbour, she is the president and CEO of the Associated Builders and Contractors of San Diego, joined by my beautiful colleague at the San Diego Military Advisory Council and everything in between, Earl the Pearl Wederbrook. Shandon and Earl, we're here. What do you think?
Good morning, Drew. Oh my gosh, I love this. You are the OG podcaster. Amazing. 20
I don't know about that. Earl knows better than that, correct?
Yeah, good morning, Drew. It's always great to be here with you, and thank you for the invitation to be on your show.
No, it's great. Earl's been a guest on the show when he was president of SDMAC, talking about all the great things. We'll bring that up as well. But start with you, Shandon. First and foremost, when did you get this role as president and CEO of Associated Builders and Contractors?
So I've been in this role about 8 years. I've actually been with, thank you. I was with the association a total of almost 11 years now. When we sold our family business, we had a family business in San Diego since 1930, became a member of the ABC, and then I became an employee of the association. And here we are today, 8 years later as its president. A lot of work. No,
it is a lot of work. And of course, I just loved it at the last SDMAC breakfast. That was just a spectacular introduction. And for our audience, because as you know, Earl, we relaunched our military show, Mission San Diego Military, with SDMAC. We just had another edition on Monday, of course, with some great folks, Chris Thorne of the San Diego, North San Diego business community and so forth, and a frequent guest at SDMAC. So I think that is terrific. Before we turn it over to Earl to talk a little bit about SDMAC and its mission, what's the mission of ABC?
So, Drew, what we do is we help our members develop their people. So it's all about training, education. We help our members who are contractors win work, and we help them deliver that work safely, ethically, and profitably for the communities in which we build, live, and thrive.
Right. Is it a membership organization that people have to join or not necessarily?
It is. It's a membership organization. Our members are businesses. They are small, mid-sized contractors that work mostly in commercial spaces. And the second part of it is we have an apprenticeship program. So their employees are able to participate in training and learning through us.
Right, exactly. Earl, talk about a little bit about SDMAC, the mission, and thank you so much for your service, of course. Colonel Wederbrook served us well, but he served us well many, many years ago and continuing to do that. Talk about SDMAC.
Yeah, so SDMAC, the San Diego Military Advisory Council, was formed back in 2004, originally in opposition to the proposition to move San Diego Airport to Miramar. It since then has evolved over the last 20 plus years. I retired in 2006, became a member of SDMAC in 2006, and then I was invited to join the board about 2 years later. So I am, no brag, but I'm the longest continuously serving board member with SDMAC. The mission of SDMAC is to educate and inform the public in support of the military and the defense community. Both the public and our legislators, probably more important, our legislators. Most people don't realize just how important the military is to the San Diego region. The latest economic impact report still shows about $62 billion direct and indirect spending in San Diego. That's nearly 25% of the economy, about 1 in 4, 1 in 5 jobs. So it's the military is a very, very important part and a stabilizing part of the San Diego economic engine.
If you could just imagine where we would be in 2008 when we had the real estate meltdown, both you guys know that well, especially you, Shandon, without the military that was still contributing in this area. I mean, didn't want to even think about that, as well. And one of the things I've been honored to have been involved with SDMAC quite a bit. They're foolish. They're very smart not to have me even anywhere near their board. That would have dropped the IQ about a half right there. But what you folks have done, Earl, is really demystified the relationship between civilians and the military. Talk about how important that is.
Yeah, it's absolutely important. One of the key elements, the education part, is just for the public and for the legislators. Fewer and fewer people have served in the military. That number's going down. So it's important that they understand what we're here for, what we do, and more importantly, to humanize the folks. Because at the end of the day, when their shift is over, they drive out the gate and they're a citizen of San Diego. And so they go to the schools, they participate in the PTA, they're the coaches that you see, and they're the folks that are there at the city council meetings that are advocating for their children because they are, while they're here, they are residents of San Diego. So it's very important. And then lastly, the legislators, very few of the local legislators have any military experience, so it's important to them to understand the impact that the military has and the requirements of the military in terms of training spaces that are needed, electricity, power, water, et cetera. So it's an ongoing education. It never stops.
And I think it's really good. And before turning it back over to Shandon and talk about the relationship with APC and potentially SDMAC and the military in general, I think if anyone doubts the creativity and the skill set of the folks in the military, we're the largest military port in the country, of course, with the Marines and the Navy and the Coast Guard, smattering of Army, and for Joe Craver, yes, we have some Air Force floating around here somewhere in that area. You put a 19-year-old or 20-year-old working on a submarine that's worth $4 billion. I'd probably hit the wrong missile and take out Mars or something like that. So these guys are smart. They're resilient, and the men that serve in it is phenomenal. I'm Drew Schlossberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlossberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. Just thrilled to have in our studio today Shandon Harbour, President and CEO of Associated Builders and Contractors of San Diego, and Earl Wederbrook, board member of San Diego Military Advisory Council. They're not going to mind when I say they are married. They are a great union in 75 different reasons as well. Shandon, talk about the relationship between ABC and SDMAC.
Absolutely. So you were mentioning about the real estate meltdown. Well, a lot of our contractors actually survived by doing work on the federal installations in Southwest in the San Diego region, because that was where the work was. So we were on bases building those, hangars and other buildings that are so prevalent. And so through that work, we're able to employ as well the transitioning veterans that are coming out of the service. So just as you mentioned as well, the 18, 19-year-olds that are on the submarines are dealing with those planes and they're well-skilled in safety and all the other things that they're already learned through the military service. They come into construction, and it's a perfect match. So we're hiring the men and women who've served in our country in this region, and our members are working on the projects where the military construction dollars are flowing. So there is a very big interconnection between military and construction. I always look at Pearl too. These guys, the military guys, they always like to joke around and do all these things. Same sort of characters in construction, very high performers. They want to complete a mission. They want to complete a project. So there is a lot of interconnection. San Diego's a military town and a construction town. Yeah,
there's no question about it. Careers are absolutely near and dear to my heart. And I think you folks know I've been heavily involved with the Classroom of the Future Foundation since its inception in 1997. Our whole focus is college and career pathways. In fact, I'm going to invite both of you to our 9th annual CFF College and Career Pathways Summit. That'll be held on February 26th at National University's headquarters, right about 5 minutes from where we are here in the studio, Mission Fed Credit Union. And the whole focus of it is the careers, the skill sets that whether someone has served 4 years or they've served 34 years, when they come out is just absolutely, they are dedicated, they know about mission. They know about getting the job done. They know how to lead, and there's absolutely just wonderful opportunities for that. We come back from break, Shannon. I do want to talk about how you and I first met.
Yes.
With San Diego Center for Children and your beautiful boy Shay, in that aspect, which I think is just real critical to talk about that as well. It warms my heart when we have those conversations. When we return with Shandon Harbour and Earl the Pearl Wederbrook on another edition of Drew Schlossberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. We will be right back after this short break.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlossberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlossberg Spotlight on the Community Show, nation's longest running community podcast in our 20th year. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, 60 plus years of doing great things in the community, whether it's food insecurity, whether it's the arts, whether it's financial literacy, Alzheimer's. They are involved in so many different aspects. Just so pleased to have in the studio my longtime friends and colleagues, Shandon Harbour, President and CEO of Associated Builders and Contractors of San Diego, and Earl the Pearl Wederbrook. He is a board member of San Diego Military Advisory Council, involved in so many things that make us connections between the military and the civilian folks. But Shannon, I remember when I first met you, and we had been highlighting quite a bit on our show the San Diego Center for Children, and we, Earl had said, hey, you know what, Shandon certainly has some connection to that with her son Shay. Talk about that.
Yes, actually, that's how Drew and I met years ago, featured on San Diego Center for Children. My son was a student at the school, and I just cannot applaud that organization enough. Transformative, absolutely, what they do for our community. I have a son, he's now 25 years old. At the time, we were, I think, talking, Drew, he was about 14 or 15. So
right.
We're dating ourselves on how long we know each other. But Drew was wonderful to highlight the school and the organization and what they do for our community. And for the students that are on the spectrum, there's a range, as you know.
Right.
Shay is a little bit more on the severe side. He's now at a group home in Santa Barbara, but we told stories about the benefits that the center does for that population. It's amazing the work that they do there, and I cannot applaud them enough for the spectacular things that they afford those that are on the spectrum and have different ways to learn. But yes, and I just nod my head to you, Drew. Every time we see you always ask how he's doing, and he's up in Santa Barbara, thriving in a group home. I will say that it's hard once they leave. Shay left the Center for Children at age 22,
right.
So not that long ago. It's great that they have that program all the way through the life skills program, but it's difficult once they leave a program like that in the world with those with disabilities. It's challenging. So I'm glad he's in a good place now in Santa Barbara.
Well, listen, I think we're thrilled. I would almost consider Shay part of the group in this program.
Yes.
Every time I see Earl, I'm always asking, as you know, on this. And, I want to get Earl's perspective on it. Obviously being a great partner of yours, of course, now a husband, his love for Shay,
yes.
and so forth coming into it wasn't always easy and all that time. Talk about your experiences, Earl.
Well, the challenge, obviously, coming in cold, if you will, is I'd never been exposed to the symptoms or consequences of children being on the spectrum. And
right.
as he grew, obviously our relationship grew. And you learn to understand what he can and what he can't do. And once you understand that when they have, I'll call it a meltdown, he's not being mean. He's not being petulant. It's his brain is not able to process the information. Right. And so you start to recognize those signs of anxiety and the anxiety buildup. Now, the challenge was as he got bigger, he's about 5'10", 5'11", 220 pounds right now. It got hard to physically handle, and you start to realize that there's an art to that. I mean, it's not just a matter of wrestling a kid down. You really, truly have to recognize the signs ahead of time. And as it turns out, it was a godsend because my grandson is on the spectrum.
Oh,
and
didn't know that.
At age, I want to say about 13, 14 months, we began to recognize some of the symptoms. And we talked to my son. As you can imagine, it's very difficult for a parent to
acknowledge
that.
Right.
But what it did lead to is early recognition, early diagnosis. And so we were able to take advantage of the lessons learned with Shannon and I with Shay, and then apply that to my grandson, Sullivan. And so it is challenging. The hardest part, again, was just the safety for him and safety for mom. But he's in the school. He's up there with the Devereaux Foundation right now in Santa Barbara. And I know it's hard for mom. We try to go up and see him at least once a month. But he kind of feels like he's going to college. And so he's settling in very, very nicely up there.
Well, and you think about this, we have a lot of folks that deal with folks on the spectrum. We've had Noah Holmes on, and Terry was on recently. And one of my favorite groups is, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, Shandon and Earl, called Riding Above Disability. So we love having those folks. And actually, we asked them to bring in kids that are on the spectrum to come on the show, and they say, "Well, I'm not sure what he's going to say." I said, "I don't care what he's going to say. It doesn't make, or she's going to say, it doesn't make a difference. Give them that opportunity." As you well know, Shandon, I mean, you've spent so much time in this space, and you too, Earl. They have so much to give. Shay's a little bit on the more severe side. I get it, but doesn't mean anything. They have so much to give, and they thrive when they get these opportunities. So I'll just tell you a quick story. I've shared this with some of my listeners. So we had somebody that was the CEO was sitting where you are right now, Shandon, and then we had a kid probably was in the 30s and all that business on the spectrum, and you could tell they're on the spectrum in that business. And during the interview, and the kid's mom was in the studio and didn't want to come on, just wanted her son to thrive on the. So in the middle of the interview, Drew, you know something? I go, no, what's up? I think his name was Mike. I could be wrong. You're a chatterbox. I absolutely said, the mom fainted. The CEO was on the ground laughing, just like Shannon is now. And I said, you know what? You are so smart and intuitive. You're right. I am a chatterbox. Yeah. I got to ask questions. It's that type of stuff that just thrills me. We're chatting with Shandon Harbour. She's the president and CEO and Associated Builders Contractors San Diego, and the mom of child Shay up in Santa Barbara on the spectrum, joined by Earl Wederbrook, her spouse and colleague, and everything else in between. He's the board member of the San Diego Military Advisory Council. Talk a little bit about what our listeners can do to support ABC.
Well, so first and foremost, we are a trade association. So if you're a small, mid-sized contractor, we're here to support you. We understand the challenges of doing business in California. And for those that are interested in the trades, I learned that there was a 5,000% increase this week on Google inquiries on trade schools near me. And that, not everyone is college bound. So those that are out there listening and you don't know, where a path is for somebody, guide them over to Associated Builders and Contractors, we can help. It's a career-sustaining, family-supporting career. You get medical benefits, and it definitely is a path forward for many.
Well, talk a little bit about this, because now the more we talk, I think I almost want to have you do one of our sessions on February 26th at our 9th Annual College and Career Pathways Summit, and that's what we talk about, our pathways. Our theme is sustainability, and I'm also going to pick Earl's brain on this, because we also want to have a military component on the summit, because of how the military, Earl knows this better than anybody, is all about sustainability and innovation in sustainability. So maybe we'll have a double play with both you guys having your own session. But, talk about, again, the careers that you folks are helping guide people in, that they may not even know what is available with the builders and the contractors.
Yes, actually, this generation, Generation Z, they're calling it the tool belt generation, because a lot of them are already looking forward and saying, is AI going to take a job that I'm interested in right now? So they know that going into the trades is not going to be replaced by AI. So there's a lot of interest into the trades right now. It does provide, like I said, medical, dental, vision, and our program is partnered with a community college. So they also get community college credit. Once they complete their program, there's no debt. They get paid. It's earn while you learn. It's the best kept secret in San Diego. We don't want it to be a secret anymore.
No, that sounds good. And again, Shandon Earl was talking a little about the connection between ABC and SDMAC. Maybe you can elaborate on that.
Well, the biggest thing is to understand the if you will, the population. So the construction guys are very much like the military. They're disciplined. They're dedicated to training. They're committed to excellence, and they have an intense desire to complete the project, if you will. And so whether you're years ago when I was flying combat missions in Iraq, everybody understood that dedicated and loyal teamwork is what it takes to get the job done. And if you go to any project site, construction site, you'll see the same thing, exactly the same thing. So the key for the connection, if you will, is not everybody stays in the military for 30 years. Some folks, stay in for their 4 and they get out, and that's fine. That's great. So they can take their skill sets to the community. And I can't tell you, as an outside observer, it's interesting to watch. You see the younger guys come in the first year in the academy, and they're driving the old beat-up Camrys or whatever. And by the time they get to their 4th year, they're in the tricked-out trucks. And what's really interesting is to watch the progress. Over the years, as an observer, I've seen kids that are late 20s, early 30s that are homeowners, family, they got a family, they're homeowners, and then they start their own business. So this is an amazing opportunity for those young men and women that, don't stay in, they don't make it a career. They get out, and now they're looking for opportunities in the community. So it's good for them. It's good for the community. And for the construction industry, you've got these guys that are already proven workers. They're going to come to work. If they say they're going to do it, they're going to do it, and they're going to do a good job.
They're going to do it well. If there's a little bit of a miscue, they're going to fix it, and they're going to fix it immediately. Before I tee it back over to Shandon, Earl, talk a little bit about why folks should become members of SDMAC. I've said this for many, many times, is that when you're an engaging organization, there's so much great content, especially with the SDMAC breakfast. You're bringing in, CNOs, you're bringing in the SecNav and all that business. How many people get to be in that audience and all, and then really hear about what is going on in our world when it ties into the military and that aspect of it?
Well, as you mentioned, one of our keynote events is the monthly breakfast, and we have a great reputation with bringing in really pertinent speakers. Obviously, it is military-oriented, although we do get the Padres in once a year to come in and give us the update. So it is community-oriented, but primarily towards the defense industry. If you're interested in business, the pre-breakfast networking session is premier. I mean, we're talking 100% guaranteed real estate, the opportunity to meet dedicated business workers from around the San Diego region. The biggest thing is to understand just the economic impact. Again, the military economy is the stabilizing influence in the San Diego region. $62 billion. It's not hard to forget about that. And so if you're interested in becoming a member, go to sdmac.org. It's got the membership on there. You can join as an individual. If your business is interested, you can join as a corporate member and enjoy all the benefits of that.
Well, I can attest to it firsthand. As Earl knows, I'm pretty much go to it every single month, and it's always 7:30 to 9 o'clock, done, just in military time, folks. So that's what it's going to be. Always great content. You're actually supporting this wonderful organization, SDMAC, meeting some phenomenal people. But one of these days, Earl, maybe you and I have a sidebar with David Boone, the president and CEO of SDMAC. We talked about this quite a bit with the previous, CEO. Is Mark Ballmer, rest his soul.
Yeah.
Just was an amazing guy, and certainly Larry Blumberg, the initial kickoff guy for SDMAC, and then Randy Bogle. We got to find a way where we can make some money on televising or videotaping these speeches of these guys. I know there's got to be JAG World involved, and people have to sign off on it in case someone goes off the rails, but I think it's something we should look at. I'll start with you on Earl. Any final comments?
No, I like your idea. We'll bring that up at the next board meeting, see what comes of it.
What's going to happen is that idiot Drew came up with that idea, right, Earl? And you're going to have to lie and say, no, that was my idea.
Only if it works.
Only if it works. Okay, good. Shandon, any final comments?
I'll give a plug for SDMAC myself, because I was invited to attend because we did some work with some of the defense contractors in our prior world. And they invited and said, just like you started the show off, Drew, if you want to get to know the military community, this is where you go. So she had me in for breakfast, and the rest is history.
It really is. Well, Shandon Harbour, just wishing you nothing but phenomenal success. And this won't be the last time we'll have ABC on. Well, I'll probably want to have you come on again with some of the folks that benefit from ABC as well. He's never met me, but I want you to give a big high five and a hug to shake for me.
I will, absolutely. And thank you, Drew. You're just a love to continue to talk and advocate for that community. Just love.
Absolutely. And to our audience, we hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlossberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.